Russian pilot Konstantin Yaroshenko has returned home after spending around a decade in a U.S. prison over his alleged involvement in a drug smuggling scheme. Yaroshenko spoke to RT about the horrors he has endured. "I was kidnapped by the U.S. authorities, their intelligence, the DEA, and Liberia's NSA on May 28, 2010 from a hotel and subsequently transferred to the NSA's headquarters," Yaroshenko said. "There was a torture room where I was tortured for 2.5 days. It was inhuman torture, physical and psychological, with enormous pressure. At some point, I didn't even want to live, to come to my senses. When I lost consciousness, I didn't want to return back into this world," he went on, adding that the agents who tortured him were very good at their job. Liberia ultimately handed Yaroshenko over to U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, agents, and he was secretly transferred to the U.S. He received a 20-year jail term after a U.S. court found him guilty of conspiring to import cocaine into the United States. The torture and years in a U.S. prison have taken a heavy toll on Yaroshenko, who said that only continuous support from his family in Russia have helped him endure the hardships. "The faith in the Russian people, in the Russian government and the Russian president. Only this faith helped me to endure in this very difficult situation," he said. Yaroshenko was swapped on Wednesday for U.S. national Trevor Reed, who ended up in Russian custody back in 2019. Reed, a student at the time and an ex-US Marine, was detained in Moscow for drunk and disorderly behavior and an assault on police officers. In 2020, he was given a 9-year term after being found guilty of endangering the life and health of law enforcement personnel. Yaroshenko has always maintained his innocence, stating that he merely got caught in the middle of a big political game against Russia. "It was a pure setup, a provocation needed only to reach the goals pursued by the American authorities," the repatriated pilot stated. "All the accusations against me are just a smokescreen to cover up the real goals that the U.S. authorities were trying to achieve. In relation to me and in relation to, perhaps, other citizens, like Viktor Bout." Bout is a Russian businessman whose story shares striking similarities to that of Yaroshenko. He was detained in 2008 in Thailand at the request of Washington and subsequently transferred to the U.S., where he was sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2012 over his alleged involvement in a weapons smuggling plot. Now, Yaroshenko is planning to try and bring the American and Liberian authorities to justice over the hardships he has endured. "I will try to present all the evidence, to prosecute the U.S. government for its acts against me. The same applies to the government of Liberia," he stated. Yaroshenko plans to begin the fight in Russian courts, as the international ones are American puppets just rubber stamping Washington's orders, he said.